Welcome, welcome, and that was a big round. I just saw Nancy. I was going to say it. There she is. Big thank you to our pianist, Rick Stanton, our multi-talented Rick Stanton. That was awesome. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, I see some faces I haven't seen in a while. How cool is that? I am Ginny Castle. I am your mistress of ceremonies instead of master of ceremonies. I kind of like that mistress angle. Adds a little bit of intrigue to me. I see Chris Ferrante, Rios, and Luis Rios. I'm just going to greet all of y'all. Good to have you here. So welcome. And to our Arabic and Muslim friends, our Islamic friends, we say Eid Mubarak today. This is a big holiday for them. One of the biggest, and what it has to do with is the pilgrimage, the annual pilgrimage to Mecca. So this date, I'm not going to pretend to know lots about it, but this date has to do with saying that you took that pilgrimage at some point recently. So if you see any of your Muslim friends, you can tell them, oh, I understand that today is Eid al-Adha, that's the name of it, and Eid Mubarak, right? That's how you say blessings to this holy event. I want to welcome everyone. How many of you were at the block party yesterday? Yes, there it is. Upstairs too. We had our first block party ever, I think, and our first in the community trying to bring folks in event that we've tried since the whole pandemic thing. So it was wonderful. We had people come by who lived across the street, now say they're interested in coming. We actually raised more money than we spent. Then I did and we even have some Coors Light and White Claw left over that we might be cracking open in the dining room. So this will be a very fun day in our dining room. Those of you, let me see, just a show of hands, anyone, is it your first time to be here? Anyone? All right, we have a couple of people. Yes, we can go and do the flowers now. We'd like to hand out a flower to new folks as a thank you and welcome, and so that we can make sure we come up and say hello to you. And as a new person, please join us in the dining room after services because your first time is free. It's on us. So we have a wonderful message and Sunday experience for you today. We have the amazing Coni Carter over here, one of our own, who's going to speak today. We have our beloved Michael Stanwood, who is going to be our musician for today. A couple of housekeeping items. One is, if you have a cell phone, who doesn't? My 12-year-old who has one, and she was the last person on the planet, apparently, according to her, to get one. Please put it on vibrate or silence or whatever. Take a moment to do that if you would. And then we also are part of a growing movement that acknowledges that the land we are on was not our land, that it was taken from the indigenous people who were here before us. This is called the land acknowledgement. The people who were on this land before us were the Cheyenne, the Arapaho, and the Ute. And bringing this up is important because their legacy matters. This was holy ground to them, and it makes it even more holy for us. And one of the things that we like to get across is this isn't just an empty statement. We don't just say it, thanks, now we're going to move on. We do make an effort to try to actually do something. And how we do that is we have a partner, and they are tenants in our building, and we do activities with them. We support them in ways that we want to make sure we're doing extra support because they do support Indigenous people. They're called Spirit of the Sun. They work in the community through activism programming and education to make a difference for Indigenous youth, one youth at a time. So hopefully we'll get to introduce you one of these days to Spirit of the Sun. We'll make sure that they're up on the stage. So do just take a moment in whatever personal way you want to acknowledge that we are on this beloved space. And what I'd like to do now, in a similar feeling, is we're going to ground ourselves, do a quick prayer to get us all in the right space. So if everyone, as you're comfortable, if you want to close your eyes, take a moment to take a nice deep belly breath. And then just let it all out, whatever way feels good to you. Take another nice deep belly breath. And let it go. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel the earth beneath you, the sacred land beneath you. You might want to imagine a connection that goes all the way to the center of the earth. And you can imagine that you yourself are full of light. Light of the source, light of love, light of God. Whatever feels comfortable to you, it might be nature. It might be all those things. And imagine that the center of the earth also has this beautiful, beautiful light. And that you are connected directly to it. It feeds you. It. And it helps to calm you, helps you to focus. And it also helps you to realize that you are connected to every person in this room. And imagine that light, each of their lights are connected to the earth and to you. And imagine that this connection goes out the doors of Althea, connects to people, the creatures, the plants in this neighborhood, in Cheeseman Park, just a block away. That stretches out across the whole metro area to the mountains above us, beside us, below us. And it's a web that's connected further and further out, across the country, across the globe, connecting out beyond this planet. And as we feel this connection, we feel great gratitude. Gratitude for the women who imagine this very space that we're in at Althea that celebrated its 100-year birthday this year. This beautiful building that was just a thought, just a feeling. It's a very strong, committed people who turned it into this space that is still standing and will continue to stand with your energy and your commitment and all that you bring. And it's going to and is attracting other people who are looking for this kind of space. space that is open, that is about community and oneness and questioning and belonging. And also feel a big thank you to yourself for being there, for spending your Sunday morning with us. And have great compassion for the people in your life, the ones you love and get along with, the ones that challenge you. This is all part of a great big experience. So let's take another moment in silence to breathe and ground. Feel that connection to everything and everyone. And as you hear the notes of the piano, start to bring yourself back to this space. If you went anywhere else, feel those feet again on the ground. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. And together we say, Amen. So it is. Thank you. I would like to bring up Daryl Johnson, who is going to take us through our statement of being, which also comes from our original founders, and a song that we sing every Sunday called The Face of God. Daryl, come on up.
Good morning. Good morning. Please stand as you're able and join me in the face of God, statement of being, followed by God is all, both invisible and visible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. We are individualized expressions of God, and are ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance.
It's now time to hear the first bit of music from Michael Stanwood, but let me give you a little bit of background about this amazing person. He is a 5-time winner of Westward's Best of Denver for everything from his recordings to his performances. He has composed scores for dance, theater, and film, as well as for 3 critically acclaimed recordings. He now plays a variety of ethnic instruments like the didgeridoo, the Thai kain, and the mbira, which I think I mispronounced. Mbira, let's try that. As well as the guitar. He was the first place winner in the 2012 International Auto Harp Championship and is considered one of the finest auto harpists in America today. So please help me welcome Michael Stanwood.
As always set up this talk to stop the didgeridoo. this one's got a crack in it. I don't realize that's what is key. So I'll play a little song. I apologize for that. I hope I didn't crack it all the way into it. But that's what keeps the air not going through correctly. So we'll play a little bit on the horn here.
And I noticed some new folks came in after we welcomed that lovely couple right there. I know for sure. Hello! They were here for, so do you want to have a couple flowers for her? Do you mind? Oh, yes. What other newcomers since I first welcomed newcomers? Sorry. I'm doing things so out of order. Anyway, because you got your flowers. They're getting their flowers. So anyone else? Up? Anybody up there snuck in on me? Yeah. Okay. Yes, they were here last night for the Coni Underground, Denver Coni Underground, which I'll be talking about in the announcement section. So, very cool. I would like to introduce our wonderful, thank you so much, Barbara, our wonderful speaker for today, Connie Carter. As a spiritual coach, Althea prayer partner, Unity prayer chaplain, trained religious science practitioner, she spent the last 35 years exploring and practicing spiritual tools. She has been an experienced motivational speaker and group facilitator. Her passion is prayer, and her heart is enriched with community involvement. And she and her husband Mike are just pillars of this community. So we are so excited to have her with her message today. Practice, 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 a spiritual unfolding. Please help me welcome Connie Carter.
I am so excited to be here this morning, to be present with this community that has my heart, that feeds me with love. And so I came here today to share a story with you. And it's not just my story, it's possibly a lot of your story. But a lot of us, anyhow, I know I have 5 bookcases in my house, and I have over 500 books. You know, I've bought the books, I've read the books, I've attended the seminars, I've participated in the classes, and, you know, and sometimes I've gotten a degree that says, you know, I'm qualified to do something, or a license that says, you know, I have your permission. But then what? You know, we can't stop with our spiritual journey once we finish the book. So for me, my spiritual journey started in 1989. I was invited to go to Mile High Church of Religious Science, and at that time they had a lending library. And I was in that library, and a book jumped off the shelf. And it was called A New Design for Living by Ernest Holmes. And I took that book home, I read it, I reread it, and it spoke to me. That book teaches us that we are the architects of our life. Now, what does it mean to be an architect? It means that you have to sit down and plan and draw and design what it is that you want to experience. It means that we are the authority in our life. And it doesn't mean that, I've known architects that, you know, they start a plan and then, you know, something switches and they have to, you know, change it. So it doesn't mean that it's in stone. What it means, though, is that you are in control and responsible for this thing that we call life. And so it was kind of interesting. After I read that book, I took Science of Mind 1, and then I took Science of Mind 2, and then I took all these other classes that built up enough hours. I didn't have to take Science of Mind 3, but I was eligible to sign up for their program called Religious Science Practitioner. And so I did Practitioner 1, which is a 1-year class. And it's about learning who you are. And then I took a break. And I moved to Minnesota. And I started the class again. And then that blew up in my face. I ran into a minister that was very self-opinionated and very hard to work with. So I said, my dream is over. I don't get to do this. So I walked away. Then I got a call from my daughter who was living in the Boston area, and my youngest son was up there with her, and I moved to the Boston area. My son and I went exploring religious science churches, and I found a minister who saw the good in me, who said, let's try again. So I took Practitioner 1 again. It took me 8 years to get through Practitioner 2. Something that's designed for 2 years. But I had to keep practicing. So I took one, and then life called me to move back to Minnesota. And I said, now what? The minister was still there that I couldn't work with. Even though I went back and tried, with the same results. I don't know if any of you are like me, but sometimes it takes more than once. So I ended up calling my minister in Boston, and I said, this isn't working. I said, and she said, you know what? She says, I've got a practitioner 2 class that's starting. And you can join us by phone. We didn't have Zoom back then. And so I did. Every week I would call in, and she created a little box for me that, with my picture on it, and people would drop in notes and she could mail them to me. So another year later, and she said it to me, the final test. And then you had to call her, and I said, okay, I'm here. And with the whole class, because this all had to be done as a class, she said, open your FedEx. I opened the FedEx, I took the test, and then waited. But I never stopped praying, I never stopped dreaming, I never stopped seeing myself as being this thing called a practitioner. Someone that was licensed to pray with people. But then an excitement had taken place within me when I discovered this thing called affirmative prayer. And I'm very blessed that this is not a religious science thing. It is something they teach you and train you to use. But so does unity. And so does divine science. And it's a prayer that allows you to really recognize the presence of a power greater than you are. Whatever name you want to call that. So God is, and then to unify with that. I am. I'm created out of the essence of God. God is in my architectural plan. Not because I created that, but because it's the truth of all of us. We come into this world connected to that source. And then the third step is realization. That's when you get to get connected with your desire. When things start to get real for you. And then there, of course, is the thank you. The thank you step, which we all know that gratitude is the key to unfolding a spiritual journey. And then, of course, the fifth step, which is the hardest step of all, which is then you need to release it. Now you need to let go. Now you need to trust. I have asked. And the Bible says it is done. As you ask. So, I finally heard from the board that I had, passed my test, but then you have to do what they call orals. So I went to a conference in Nashville, Tennessee, and my minister got word that I had passed my test while we was there, and she pulled together a board to interview me. And then was what they call a religious science practitioner. But I was living in Minnesota. There was no the one religious science church was the minister that I had an issue with, so that didn't work. So I had to start a study group. And so I pulled together people, and we created a study group, and then I met another group of people that also wanted to do religious science, but they decided to do, back then it was, the two churches were separate. There was Religious Science United and Religious Science International. So we created a Religious Science International church. And I grew and I expanded and my journey continued. And the reason I'm telling you this story is because last year I was in Duluth, Minnesota, which they invite me to come speak at least once a year. They would love me to come every Sunday if I would move back there, but my husband is not real fond of living in Minnesota in the winter, so. But I was presented a gift of 4 binders. And those 4 binders had 48 lessons in the science of mind that was actually written in 1953. Now, Dr. Holmes was still alive when this set of books was written. And the difference of how I read it as a 70-year-old and how I read it as a 40-year-old was amazing. You think that, you've learned it all, right? You've been through all the training, you've been teaching classes, you've been working in this, But I went back. I took almost a year, and every day I read and I journaled about those 48 lessons. And it opened me and expanded me even more. Because the words of Ernest Holmes, even though, he was teaching the same thing over and over, that, we are the architects of our life. We get to design it, we have to, but we have to practice. We have to practice. But in this context, you felt his love. You felt his excitement. I got reignited with my passion, with my love of this journey that I'm on. And so, it's giving me new confidence. That's why I said yes to being up here as your speaker today. Even though I've spoken a lot of different places, my very first paid talk was in the Divine Science Church in Minneapolis. But I've never spoken here, in front of the people here that feed me. So here I am. And it's during a time that, we live in a sense of individualism. And individualism is wonderful. Because we need to honor that part of us. Because nobody can do the spiritual journey for you. This journey, this practice, requires that you go with your heart, that you move within, that you're not doing things because somebody else said this is what you should do. You're not living your life to please someone else. You're really touching your heart. What is it that I desire? What is my desire? What will my building look like? But we also live in a time where violence prevails, in a time when ignorance is overwhelming. And that's where community comes in. You know, doing that individual spiritual journey is wonderful and powerful, and I have to say it saved my life. And it continues to save me. You know, I had to learn how to open myself up to be in relationship. I failed at marriage 4 times until I finally found out what I was doing wrong. I was giving my power away. Every man that I took on as a partner, I thought was here to complete me. You know what? It's not true. Your partner is not here to complete you. Your partner is here to enjoy you, to support you, to guide you, to be there when things are tough and to celebrate with you when things are good. And I love the fact that today I can say that, after 10 years in that kind of a relationship, I keep growing. I keep waking up next to this person that I get excited about. I love walking a spiritual journey with. I'm not walking a journey alone anymore. Actually, I never was alone. God was there. But it's different when finally learning how to be in partnership. It grew me again. And so I have continued to grow through practice, practice, practice. And what do I practice? I practice connecting to that one source that lives within me. I practice kindness to myself and others. I practice forgiveness, not just with my friends and with my community, but with those people that, show up that challenge me, that, look at life different than I do. How do I love them? How do I forgive them? And that's what the journey teaches you. It's how it supports you. It's why we are in community. So that we don't do it alone. We are here for each other, as well as here for ourselves. I recently read a book by my mom, and it was called Going Home. And I thought it was kind of interesting. Out of the whole book, only one little paragraph jumped out at me and said, whoa, this is something we need to pay attention to. And it said that Buddha and Jesus have to meet every moment in each one of us. Each of us, in our daily practice of kindness, of forgiveness, of love for ourselves and others, needs to touch the Spirit of Buddha and the Spirit of Jesus so that they manifest. These energies are so crucial for us to embrace our fear, our despair, our anxiety. Those are not the gifts we were given when we were given life. Those are things that we have learned to practice that hold us back, that disempower us rather than empowering us. We need to face them. We need to bring that spiritual essence to them. And then we need to look beyond them. So, I was wrong. I said I could see the clock from here, but I can't. So if anybody wants to signal me when I reach a point that I need to be quiet, because I don't know, many of you don't know me, but many of you do. And you know that I can talk forever. You get me up here with a mic, talking about what I love. And I don't know when to stop. I just know that my life is beautiful. That I love waking up every moment. And I also want to share with you one of the tools, as I went back through that Science of Mind program again, I came away with something that I'd like to give to you. And it says the first thing we need to do is to affirm. Well, affirmative prayer. Yeah? But what do we affirm? And if you ever have trouble coming up with an affirmation, Louise Hay has a wonderful book called Heal Your Body, Heal Your Life. But we affirm whatever it is that we desire to move beyond and to move to. So I wrote, I am free from the trauma of my past. Today, I choose to stay in the moment and live with joy and wonder. Now I've been using affirmations for a long time, so that coming up with an affirmation is easy. But then it took you to the next step, which was accept. Now I've got to accept that it's possible. That I can ask, and it can manifest. At one point, after Mike and I joined this beautiful community called Althea, I was watching the speakers on stage, and I said, I want to do that someday. And today is my manifestation of that. But I accepted it as a possibility. And so with my affirmation that I had written, I wrote, I accept the love that I am to flow in my interactions with life. As I travel, connect with family and friends, and enjoy the gifts of partnership. So that's my acceptance. I can accept that. I can live with that. I can claim it. I can put my initials on that architectural design But then it asks you to do one more step. Anticipate. Affirm, accept, anticipate. How do you anticipate that which is not here yet? That's where your architectural mind gets to see the vision. That's where you get to even choose the colors that you're going to paint the rooms, or whether it's going to be an open space or a closed space. That's where you get to design. And so I came up with, I anticipate a flow of freedom, opening to support, guide, and enhance my beingness. And this tool is not mine. This tool belongs to all of you. This is what that source of being called life, called God, called love, gifted each one of you when you were born. Affirm, accept, anticipate. And I've been having fun anticipating. Like recently, Mike and I we did a month of journeying. We went to Texas for 10 days, and then we came home for a week, and then went to Minnesota for 10 days. So, I think there's a lot of car travel, and I don't know about all of you, but there have been people that I don't get along with in a car. Mike is not one of those. And so, it was a pleasure to spend that much quality time with my partner. To anticipate, we got back on Thursday, so to anticipate bringing this travel to a close by being here, by being able to connect and talk to you and love you. So once again, practice. Practice not just my words, but how do I walk it? How do I talk it? It's not something that I can just put in a journal and forget. I daily use the tools that Jonathan has gifted me with in the classes that I took with him, and in many wonderful ways that, his books, his presence. But so many of you have opened my life. I actually get to do a shout out to my friend Richard Patton, because he opened my life to hospice. I was blessed to spend the last 3 years of employment being a hospice volunteer for these wonderful people that gave from their hearts to those people that were nearing the end of their life. For that's a journey. It's not a good or bad. It's a journey. And it's how your attitude unfolds it that tells you how your journey will be. So I have gotten a signal that my time is coming to a close, but I wanted to share with you some words from a song that the interfaith community in Duluth sang last week when I was there. And these words were so powerful. And the song is called In the Silence. In the silence, there is a sacred place, a secret meeting place. Love is there. In the silence where every color blends and every rainbow ends, good is there. In the light, now you find that you know peace of mind. In the silence, the path is paved in gold, and all your dreams unfold. Love is there, peace is there, truth is there, God is there. Thank you, and God bless you.
The following story is from Heaven and Hell, from A Deep Breath of Life by Coni. And as parentheses, heaven is the decision I must make, from A Course in Miracles. A samurai warrior came to his Zen master and commanded him, "Teach me about heaven and hell." The master looked at the warrior and laughed, ridiculing him. "Why would you think I would waste my time teaching an ignoramus like you? You are an uneducated buffoon." The samurai, severely insulted, began to breathe heavily and grow red in the face. Furious, he drew his sword and lifted it up to chop off the master's head. "That, sir," the master interrupted, "is hell." Immediately, the warrior was overcome with humility. In deference to the profundity of the lesson, he fell at the master's feet and began to thank him profusely. "And that, sir," continued the master, "is heaven."
I changed my song upon listening. I'm changing everything today. But, I was fortunate to go on 3 retreats with Thich Nhat Hanh, and this is a chant that he gave us a oral chant, and so I put a little beat to it. Breathing in the calm of mind and my body. Breathing out, I smile. Breathing in, I feel present within me. I can rest for a while. Breathe Breathing in, calms my mind and my body. Breathing out, I smile. Breathing in, I feel present within me. I can rest for a while.
Thank you again, Michael, so much. And I don't know about the rest of you, but there's that beautiful pause where you're waiting for that last note to just completely fade into the background, and then it's yes. So thank you as always, Michael, for sharing your beautiful original music too. There are many ways to support Althea and to give back to Althea, and one is very grounded in reality. And that is your donations. And so this is the time every service where we go old school and we actually pass a basket around. For those folks who remember what cash is, it's paper with lots of numbers on it, big long numbers, and checks that are written. In any event, if you're able, please throw something into the basket. That's what keeps the lights on and the doors open. And there are also other ways to give. We're not just old school. In the back, we have what's called a dip jar, and this is preset with an amount, and you dip your credit card, and each time you do, it just adds there. We love it. Go crazy. Pretend you're in Las Vegas, and you might win something. It could happen. I don't know how. And then we also have QR codes on our programs, QR codes back there, where you can do it in a much more modern way. But in any event, and then we also have folks who sign up online with what's called an evergreen giving. So you just set an amount every month, comes right out of your bank account, no fuss, no fuss. But do understand that we proudly say we need your financial support. We absolutely do to keep things going. And we'll talk during the announcements section about other ways that you can volunteer and give. And so I would ask our basket holders to come forward. And Judith, are you doing the prayer for this, or do we have one of our folks who will? Or do I just read it now?
Yes.
I know we have a new way. We have a new way, and I read it. Oh, yes, that's what we do. All right. So, all right, there it is. See, everything you notes. So we ask that you all help us affirm that money is just energy, right? Just an energy exchange. And so we ask that you recite this with us, which is, the universe provides all that I need and all that I give. With great joy, I share my prosperity, planting seeds for a world I help manifest. And so it is, amen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is also a new segment that we've added, and this is what we call prayers of the people. With so much that is always going on and always has been, there's often a need for folks from the audience to say, I would like a special prayer for someone I know who is ill, or for myself. Maybe I'm having surgery. Maybe there's something going on in the world that you feel compelled to say, can we have a special prayer about that? And you've heard talk today about affirmative prayer. It's very much a part of what we believe in, and that is that prayer has power, and that especially prayer done with others has real power behind it. And so what we'd like to do is take a moment and open this up now to anyone who would like to say, hey, prayer for Ukraine. And we're going to take that down, and our prayer partners are actually going to put some energy toward that. So I'm going to open it up now to anyone out there, up and down, who would like to say they have a special prayer. Yes, ma'am?
I have a prayer for our country.
Okay.
And we heal.
From all of it. Absolutely. We are divided often. Thank you. Thank you so much, Shannon. Who's next? Don't be shy. It always starts out this way. Then we have a bunch of things. Yes, Lee.
I'd like a prayer for people who have been brave, who come forward and told their stories to help our country, to help each other. And that's all.
Thank you. Who is next? Anyone else want a special prayer? This one here. We'll get you a mic. 1 second. We'll be right there with you. Yes, right there. Okay.
I have a special prayer for my friend who's been on the decades.
Oh my. Okay, thank you. All right. And I see Rick is back there scribbling all these down, so we're catching them all.
What's the friend's name?
Willie.
And they're going.
All right. Anyone else? Yes, right here. Right, this gentleman right here.
No.
It's all done. There we go. Raise it up high. There we go. We'll get to you.
Not as fast as Gerald.
This gentleman right here. Yeah, you can pass it on down.
Thank you. I would like a special prayer for my brother Richard, who is going through a difficult bout with cancer.
Fine. All right, for Richard, you got that. From one Richard to another Richard back there.
I have a couple. My friend Bill was a veteran of the broke his neck, and it's going to be a long road for him. Another long road for us is for peace on the earth. Rain can heal, and we can heal in the streets of the United States. We can also heal. We can also recognize what we're doing to the atmosphere. We're going to come to deal with climate change, that attitude, and with the atmosphere.
Thank you. Anyone else? This is wide open.
So essentially, one of our friends, his grandfather is transitioning today, and I just want to pray for healing and love surrounding the boys in our family, the Espinosa family, because it's rough. He was such a pillar in their family. So very important.
And what is his name?
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
But it's
We'll get
the
there.
Espinosa family?
Thank you.
Yes. And we also have the ability, you have the ability to go online and anonymously or not post a prayer, and that will also get to our prayer partners. There are many, many roads. Last call for prayer. I will always want to say a prayer for Althea's growth and thriving. We're coming out of a pandemic. If you guys, I don't know if you heard about it, but coming out of getting close to 2 years of being shut down in many ways, and through some transitions ourselves in leadership. And pre-pandemic, we're used to seeing this place absolutely full, and we're so happy for all the beautiful people we have here now. And it's not about numbers. It's about what's in our hearts when we're here together in the community. But it's also really nice to have a children's program. It's got 20 bustling, wonderful toddlers running around screaming. Not for me, because I'm not working with kids, right? But you know what I mean? I can drop mine off there. But really, let's just all have a big prayer of energy for Althea as we come out of some times of feeling a little bit more shut down. So great energy for Althea. Now we will, before we wrap things up, and as we wrap things up, and do we have a community song today, Daryl? Where's it? Yes, we do. Well, there's Rick. All right. So we will end with a rousing community song. But before we get there, we have so many cool things to talk about, so many announcements that I'll try to go through them quickly. First of all, we have great speakers coming up. Chris Parente, who's sitting right over there, Emmy award-winning Chris Parente, is going to be one of our speakers coming up. We have an amazing woman named Ethel Green, who is a multi-dimensional energy worker and practitioner and author. So she's going to be one. Stephen Burge, whom we love dearly, actor, director, and preacher's kid ×2, both parents. So he can talk about what that was like to come through. He always makes us laugh and cry. And sneak preview that Jonathan Ellerby, who used to be here, may be traveling through. I'm working with him on September. We're trying for that to come through and maybe do a little guest speaker for us. Maybe teach a few classes, do a sweat lodge. Who knows what's in the works there, but we're working on that. So keep coming. Keep bringing friends and family because every Sunday is a little bit different. So those are guest speakers. Also, Horia Montazari, a Persian Rumi scholar who has spoken before, is going to be speaking again in July, and he's going to be launching an 8-week intensive into Rumi and the spiritual side of Rumi. That's going to be here in person. We're expecting it might even be big enough that it will be in this very room. And he's also going to do a one session that is so top secret right now. That is so cool that we're not going to tell you what it is. So, but it's going to blow your mind, I guarantee you. Also, connect with your inner healer on July 16th from 12 to 2:30 right here with Kendara Laurel. Kendara, I don't know that I've seen her. Is she here? Is she here in the house? No. She was here yesterday. So she will teach you how to read auras, how to clear chakras, how to use pendulums, and basic hands-on healing. So go online to register for that. And then every Sunday, Matthew Quigley, who I believe is our chef for today, is another multi-talented person. We have so many. He is our chef. He takes folks on a 90-minute journey of breathwork, music, and yoga. That is every Sunday from 2 to 3:30 right here at Althea. So you can talk with Matthew about joining in for that. We also have Kathy Humphreys, who does community connections. Where's Miss Kathy? Hello! So she does that. It's free and open to all. That is on Zoom at this time from 11 to 12:30. It's a group that helps us stay connected to one another, that shares openly and discusses a wide variety of spiritual and inner reflective topics. And once a month, as if we just don't have enough going on, we have gong baths. Who here has never done a gong bath? You even know what I'm talking about. Oh my gosh, you got to come back. So imagine we have a guy up here with a huge gong and other things that make noises. I don't know what the technical term is, but all sorts of very cool instruments. And for an hour plus, he takes you through just pure sound meditation that resonates through your entire body. It's the coolest thing ever. It's called the Gong Bath, and his next one is July 24th, 12:30 to 1:30. So you want to register for that. After this, we have what's called a deep dive. If you connected to Coni's message on practice, 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 after we eat around, I'm going to say 12:30-ish, in the historic library, she will go into what we call a deep dive. It's usually a smaller group. You're with her, she facilitates it, she breaks you up into small groups, and you get to go even deeper into the topic. We highly recommend that. Prayer partners, if something is sparked in you today, if there's something you do want to have a special one-on-one prayer with, we always have prayer partners who will also be in the historic library. Today it is Dick and Lee Peterson who will lead you through that. So right after this, after we do our rousing community song, head over into the historic library through these doors, and they will lead you through that. Wow, that is everything I can think of.
Lunch.
Oh, lunch, hello. We have a beautiful, amazing, locally sourced, vegan option, vegetarian option, gluten-free option lunch. And if it's your first time, it is free. If you can stay, if it's your first time you cannot stay, your first one, whenever you want to come back, it'll be free for you. But otherwise, always join us. It's beautiful. It's by donation. So, hey, If you don't have it today, that's all right. If you can give a little extra for the person who doesn't have it, you can do that too. So we will, anything else? Rick, did I forget anything? Anything? All right. What did it all? Everyone? Okay. No. All right. Anyway, y'all. Okay. No, I'm kidding. All right. So before we end with Daryl leading us through a wonderful community song, we're going to end where we started, which is back to ground in the Lord. So if you are comfortable with closing your eyes, getting those feet on the ground, we're going to bring this back around to seal in all the beauty, the tranquility, love, the peace. So once again, take a nice deep belly breath. All the way in and then let that out. Take another breath. And as Michael Stanley told us, when you exhale, I smile. Take on home. And just take a moment to feel how good it is to be in community. To share beautiful energy with people who are all here. To celebrate the oneness that connects us all. Before we go back out into the hustle and bustle, this is what grounds us every week. This is what recharges our batteries so that we can go back out there and we can be a little more patient, a little more compassionate, that we can lean into the challenges. Just that little extra spark of knowing groundedness. You still have that connection we felt earlier. It's all still there and it always is. Every once in a while, we just need to take a moment, a few moments of pure silence and healing. Now together we can raise up a prayer to God, Allah, Krishna, nature, Mother Mary, any source that speaks to us and resonates with us, a huge outpouring of gratitude and love, all directions. We take this out into the world, and so it is, and we say together, Amen.
I'd like you to stand as you're able and join me in our final song, This Little Light is Mine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Yeah.